Hello, sir. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. It's been a while since I've done another stream as well. How are you then? You okay? Why is the effect different? I just found it really like underneath here. There's like a uh, little array of things. You can swivel the camera around. If I can do that, I can check the chat. I can mess around as well. With filters, just like this. This is something I found the YouTube live thing really. So I just look at this weird wavy thing. It's a bit funny. I'll stick with the able limiter actually. Enjoy that. Just got bored really, like what to do. And it's for, that's what, let's do a better live stream, see what happens really for an hour or two. You're okay, fantastic. That's wonderful. Just been doing that really, to be honest. I've had a few long lazy days, which I just stay in bed most of the time. Doing work would also just stay in bed really, which is very unlike me really. Usually I like to do something really, but I'm just not as well driven as I used to be really. So just been staying in bed till about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon really. That sort of thing. But no, I made the effort to go out and see what was going on. Do a bit, see what it is, buying stuff really. I did buy a vinyl record. I did just one. I'm not sure actually. I haven't opened it yet though. Got from HMV. If I can find out where it is. Maybe surprised what you might think it is. It's this one, Robbie Williams. I've been expecting you from 1998, his second solo album. Yeah, stuff on there in the background. I probably had this on CD. I think probably when it first came out. I think also it's for the first time really that it's ever debuted. Yeah, pretty good stuff actually. It's got one of my favourite songs of his of all time, really. It's not even one of his pen songs. It's a cover song. She's the one. I love listening to that actually. I think that's the original version of World Party, which is where it comes from. Are both good. It's a song that's actually really good. If anyone actually does a cover of it, that's something I can know points. It probably still be a really good song to cover. It's like if you do stuff like if you Ticket to Ride by the Beatles, you have the original version by the band, or you can have someone like Husker Du do a version that's actually sounds very good, or maybe I don't know someone else really. Just depends on the song. It depends on the melody, the lyrics, and everything else that sort of fit nicely. But She's the One is definitely one of those that I really enjoy. I do listen to it still, both versions, on my Spotify playlist to do. Yeah. I can't decide. I wasn't too sure what to really get actually, but I just ended up just getting this album really, just this one album. I know they released these first one as well. Like was it See Through the Lens or Eyes Through the Lens? Have you heard the news that Linda Barrows died at the age of 82 yesterday? I did, yes. Who told me? It was on Twitter. It was Billy Garaggione was put it on Twitter. I was like, oh, really? That was a bit of a shock, really. I know because I've seen coincide many years ago. Everyone remembers her, of course. Obviously, she being Doctor Who. I didn't realise she appeared in it more than once, really. I didn't realise she was in the Gunfighters and Enlightenment. I only know her from that Matt Smith and So Close in Time, really, when she actually appeared in. I didn't realise she was in Classic Who as well, actually, in the 60s and 80s. I never knew that, really. It's like, oh, so she steps in the world of Who quite a few times, actually, 3 times. 3 times the charm. So I didn't know that, but yeah, that's quite sad, really. It's too, really, but it just happens to a lot of people, really. Bit of a shock. I think that was quite a shock to a lot of people, really. She just passed away, really. It's like when Michael Angus died nearly 2 years ago. He passed away. That was a shock. That really is like it's like a punch to the face. That was. This may be the same thing, really. It's like, geez, when you sort of question who else might go. Actually, you never know, really. You're sort of you're sort of awaiting who else is actually going to go. You never know once you reach their 80s or 70s, really. She's sort of questioning, really. Yeah. So okay, I'm just keeping on this live chat thing, of course. Yeah. So obviously, Linda Barron passed away. That's quite sad. This got really back one sec. Yes, nothing really much to say, really. Just general chat for an hour, maybe. That's what I'm just thinking of doing, just pass the time away. Um, I've basically now I'm finished with Behave Looney already. My last one, basically the 100th episode, Looney's Cocktail Party. That's my last contribution for Behave Looney, anyway, really. I'm doing, I think I've done 5 already for this series, for series 4, really. Did quite a lot actually when I look back on it, really. I mean, quite a few actually. More the obscure out there ones, really. But this cocktail party, that's me finished. I just couldn't think of anything else really to do. Really. Well, I just don't know really. But it's come to the end anyway, towards the era. I know. I think episodes 24, 25, and 26. I think I know what they are actually. If you ever, because I think Oscar Mini's on wiki page really, and it showcased like what was the end of it actually, like what was it, 24, Go Gadget Looney retires, I think it is. That's episode 24. And 25 and 26 was it Looney's New Home, was a two-parter. It's split into 2 parts, strangely. So that'll be interesting to see. Unless it gets swapped around really, but that's what I've seen. How's getting on to the adventures of Hank Hammer? Not much really, not much progress really. I think because Oscar's busy working on finish off Behave Looney, he's also doing his own compilations. That's probably not until when he finishes that, but also goes to maybe to do something like maybe he's doing his own TV Burp when TV Burp comes throughout. I think that's his main priority first. But also we have I found about this recently. The sequel series or the sequel series to Behave Looney, which is Looney Burger. So that's another one that's all coming up as well actually. So that'll be go through his I guess I'll call it his 3rd phase really of his content, you know, because his first phase obviously he did TV Burp, we also did Mr. Bean Show and that sort of stuff first. 2nd phase he did Behave Looney, but also did the long time no see. Now see it again, DVD Film Blog. Thanks for joining for this afternoon half hour. Just talk about internet content collaborations. Been working with Oscar Barnett really. Just talk about what's ready to come really, and also what the show that's been sort of in a slow progress of working on. So not much of Hank Hammer's really come out yet really. Just a bit slow really. I think I've given my last contributions to with Oscar really at that point really. I mean. Oh, I think so, really. I mean, I can't really think of, you know, any of the sort of story ideas very much to do with the character himself, especially with the whole Looney Burger thing going on. So it's like, well, I've done my dues. I've done the first one for the series. I might as well move on, really, from that. And, you know, the Hank Hammer stuff, that was just an idea. That was just like, you know, we'll just go through that. So I've written the four stories for it, and that's probably me done, really. And just move on to other stuff, really. Focus on stuff I've been sort of working on my own writing stuff, of course, as I've posted a couple of days ago with Class of '89, which is something I've been working on for nearly 5 years actually, since 2017. So it's taken a long time to really get a fix on, really, to really nail it down to what it's actually meant to be. So I've really thought of a finalized version and go with it, really. Unlike this whole slapdash version of it, which I saw did half of it actually. I think I did the first 50 stories I talked about individually beforehand about a couple of years ago, I think. But this version sort of changed it. It's been more grounded. There's more tight storytelling to it. I think there is. It all works. It does. I've sort of look and think, you know, perfect, fantastic. So that's one thing I've been doing in terms of writing. Everything else, it's all contributions behind the scenes stuff, really. That's it. I do have some other stuff that actually I can probably show as well, considering that DVD Film Blog has just arrived. I've got a few new films actually as well. Some new release films. A couple of films I never expected to see anywhere actually, believe it or not. I like surprises, and I could probably show them now actually. Let's do this. excuse the noise. I might as well show you now these DVDs I've got actually. So this one, I bought this today actually from CX actually. Well, one of the local CX, well nearest CX I could probably not find actually. And I was quite surprised actually this is on here. So look, I can't really see the live chat's been a bit of a nuisance sometimes. I've been working on my own project, but I've got a writer's block at the moment. It's a screenplay starting in November. I've only written 30 or so pages of it. What is it have you written, sir? Because I know you've done some prison-based scripts you have, which I still haven't in my mail stuff. You still show me. I think about last year, I think. Still got them actually. So what's his next project? I'm interested. Before we chat up, actually, I'll just go for these sort of DVDs I picked up actually. It's just very today actually, and it's Blind Fury. Can't really tell really. I'll be off now. I'll see you later. All right then. I'll see you whenever, mate. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Blind Fury. This is from a film I've seen years ago, a long time ago on VHS, back in the day. Ruger Hauer. When this came out, 1989. This is so. I remember this because it was packaged with The Punisher, the Dolph Lundgren film, again from the same year. I've only seen them once really, but I never bothered picking up The Punisher. I don't know if you can find a DVD of that somewhere. But I found this. I never before expected to see this film on DVD or find it anywhere else really. Because I don't think you can probably get on eBay or just Amazon or something like that really. But I just randomly found it because I never really thought of Blind Fury really, even though I've seen it really. It's one of the early Ruger Hauer films I ever saw, along with Wanted Dead or Alive as well. So that's one thing. Again, it's basically a former radio jock who hosts an internet radio talk show host loses his grip on little Marathi he has. Really? That's interesting. Grip on little Marathi. That's pretty interesting stuff. Again, how does that work? Is it more psychological drama? Is it more of comedy, more drama? I don't know, comedy drama, psychological thriller, what it may be. I'm interested in that actually. So again, yes, yeah. So Blind Fury finished. Not much to do with it. It's got some different things. It's gone by TriStar, of course. Hollywood Classics, National Reading Rare, and Fremantle as well. Actually, as a part as well. I didn't know Fremantle was involved with that. Strangely, it's on the disc as well. So. Must be a rights thing, TriStar, I don't know, the films. So who knows? It's more like a drama thriller with a tiny bit of black comedy. Sounds interesting, actually. That sounds actually pretty good. So I'm interested to see what comes of that, really. Even though you're in 30 pages from Wires Block, it's like, well, I mean, it's a good start to this. You've done about 50 pages or 30 or so pages, so that's pretty good. Pretty decent start, you managed. So. Wonderful. I mean, once you get your drive back, it'll come back really. So that's pretty good. What else have we got? A couple of new films I watched these recently actually, and I just picked these up because I was interested to see this in the cinema, but that's never been asked really. Really. So let's have a look. Ghostbusters Afterlife. The recent one, Fremantle medium rare. Oh really? Oh, I actually never knew that really. So medium rare. I'll get to Ghostbusters Afterlife soon, really. So medium rare. I'm interested to know what they actually have picked up, really, because it's always been an issue. Medium rare entertainment. Let me just have a look. Can we tell? Medium wave, medium rare. Still don't know really. So Fremantle do own medium wave. Okay, so it's their own side thing. Okay. Yeah, we're actually fully on it. That's pretty good. Just didn't really know that shit. I just found just about now actually. So yeah. Okay. There it goes. That's one film I actually owned from how many years ago, and got thrown into a skip it did. Or no, I got thrown in like a metal bank or whatever. It took a lot of influence from Oliver Stone film, Oliver Stone's Talk Radio. If you haven't seen it, I can't recommend it enough. Talk Radio. I've never heard of Talk Radio actually. All the stuff I know of a couple of his films really, but I've never heard of Talk Radio. That must have flown by, so I could probably maybe look into that really. Who knows? So yeah. Anyway, what was I going back to? Ghostbusters Afterlife. The fourth film. Well, the fourth film, but technically the third in its the actual third film really. Well, I don't know if you count Ghostbusters the video game as Ghostbusters 3. Maybe I think we do actually, yes, because it's written by Aykroyd and Ramis and it's set in 1991, so it's after the first two films. So yeah, this is technically maybe number 4 really. I wasn't sure when to go into this film. I'll probably do a version of I plan to do like a 2020 2021 film ranked video, like a movie reviews special, which I might do at some point really, but and include this into it. But I have to say, really, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I was a bit unsure where to go with it, but through the film, I did thought it was really good. Wonderful directed, interesting cast of characters, and the score itself, lovely homages Ellen Bernstein. I really did think it was really good, and so there we go. I can't say much more really, but I can probably leave it from there. Ghostbusters Afterlife. And another one actually, I picked the same time as Afterlife. Also, a lot of influence came from Alex Belfield. The main character is loosely based on him, the former BBC Radio Leeds DJ. Okay, hang on, that chat's been a bit of a nuisance. From Alex Belfield, the former BBC Radio Leeds. There's quite a lot to unpack in terms of his story. Okay, so it's basically taking influence from him as well. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Again, soak up the influence and everything else. I'm sort of maybe doing a similar thing as well in terms of with the whole of Class of '89, and then base some stuff around other things really. Even though some stories are written a bit more tight and a bit more weird, I've only done some of the scripts. I think 2 of the stories actually shown done the scripts for all done versions of it. I've read them before, probably shown beforehand or something. I did. And synopsis, well, that's different now because I actually rewrote a lot of new stuff really at that point. I think there's only 78 stories in total. And most of the character is deliberately horrible. Okay. Deliberately horrible. It's so very mean-spirited and everything else. So that's okay. Let's get shown. Last Night in Soho, Edgar Wright's new film. Again, surprised. Really good. I watched this first actually, then Ghostbusters Afterlife I did, all in one viewing. I was really quite surprised with this film. Of course, takes place in modern day, 2021, 2020, whatever. Yeah, and also the visions themselves take place in 1965. Really good twist as well. Actually, I can probably say much more about. I can probably say when I do the movie review special as well of this film. Depends where it's ranked though. That's the thing. But again, pretty good. I was quite surprised actually. I've seen quite a lot from last time I was put up. I've seen quite a lot from last time when I was on your streams. On one of your streams. That's true, really. I think I haven't been streaming that much. Well, I've used streaming quite a bit just to record videos these days, really, because of the whole internet thing. It's a bit of a pain, really. Even if you try and film a video and edit it as well, it can be a bit of a chore to do, really. Sometimes it takes up. Really, I've seen Peter Jackson's early films, pre-Lord of the Rings. Oh God, we have really. I know we have. Yeah, I think everyone has really. I think not many people have really. But it's like it's a surprise when you look back at his early stuff. Brain Dead, Meet the Feebles, and Bad Taste. They're the other way around, really. They are interesting. Bad Taste and Brain Dead I've seen fully on YouTube before. I used to remember when Bad Taste came out. I think it was actually through, let's see, Oliver Harper, when he did with Richard Jackson, Duncan Casey, they did the reaction to it, like a full video commentary of it, and that was funny. The whole film itself is quite hilarious in various different ways. Good prosthetics, I have to admit, from Jackson. Good visual effects using sheep brains and all sorts, and the fake seagull when when Jackson plays Derek, he punches it. That is fun. That is quite hilarious. You know, his animatronic legs sticking out of the seagulls. It's just bonkers. Considering it's like it was done. Brain Dead Bad Taste are brilliant. With preference for Brain Dead, yeah. Brain Dead's more Dead Alive or Brain Dead, but how it goes. It's more bonkers and very out there, really. Still good. It has that sort of romantic element to it. Whereas in Bad Taste, there isn't really. It's just like a bunch of blokes going around, and it's like, you know. First time I saw Meet the Feebles, I hated it, and the second time I watched it, it really grown on me. Meet the Feebles. That's it. I only found about recently, really, and look at the poster. It's like, well, this is something different. This is like, you know, and I remember watching the trailer, actually some people reviews and looking through clips and stuff. It's more of a past, yeah. Heavenly Creatures is very good as well. Heavenly Creatures, I still haven't seen that really. I mean, I probably might need to at some point. You know, there's always a lot of films really. I mean, I probably need to search down his early films first thing for me a bit really at some point really. You know, try and search for them. That'll be something. You know, Meet the Feebles. Going back to that one. Again, I mean, it's his version of the Muppets, isn't it? Like a twisted version. It's like it's like a slice of life thing, but it's like very dark as well. You know, with puppets. You know, like what was it? Having relationships. You know, it's like how the side of fame, really, like the twisted side of fame, really. You know, it's not all light-hearted and anything else. You know, being on a TV show, it leads like horrible darkness, pretty much. Heavenly Creatures is the film where he grew as a director. Okay. So that's where that's where he found his niche really. And obviously he did The Frighteners afterwards. He did, which I think I've seen. I have I? I think I have. Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, not on maybe on TV at some point. I'm not too sure when. And of course, The Frighteners. That's great as well. That is good actually. Very good stuff. I mean, was one of the last films with Michael J. Fox in as well before his Parkinson's sort of really took over. You know, well I think he had it, but it's sort of the last film he actually ever did, really. It's got Jeffrey Combs as well. Actually, speaking of which, I might as well bring some more stuff up as well. Got a couple of Blu-rays as well. I don't think I showed these last time. From Beyond, Stuart Gordon film. I found this in Preston. I did, actually, of all things. Just in CX. I do have Reanimator. I've talked about Reanimator before. So this is like the follow-up. This is still got the same people. It's got some same people like Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton in. Ken Foray is in as well from Dawn of the Dead, one of the main characters. Just so I haven't really seen it yet because I haven't got a Blu-ray player, but I might watch it when I get there. But I know it's it might be a similar thing, really, what to expect, you know, but a bit more weird and a bit more freaky. Who knows? So I'm interested to see what comes out of that one. When you watch Braindead, you will either have a craving for custard or never want to eat custard again. I still eat custard actually, to be honest. So that never bothers me really. You probably look here and think, you know, oh, I think you know, you can tell that's like sauce or something. Like it could be like a strawberry sauce that they squirt it on, and the prop master's gone on the custard or something, really, just to replicate blood. Who knows? And it probably gives the hungry actor who's probably eaten for about 8 hours or something. Who knows? But it's funny because I do rewatch that. I did, and Christ, it's something. It's a wild ride. It is. You know, there's always stuff I always like. You know, there's always things I saw made me funny. It's when what's his face? The guy's trying to inherit the house or try and steal the inheritance, or whatever. Big fat Texan in his leopard skin jacket. Him in that, you know, him just slicing up like very fast, like very cartoony. Brilliant. I love that. It's again very simple, but very funny as well. Very effective. And you just see like all his limbs and stuff, like a big pile of limbs. And he's a smoker. It's like the good job's done. That sort of thing. I think that's wonderful. And the whole creature thing at the end, the whole climax, my God, jeez, it is fun. It is bonkers. You know, actually being something to your mother again, and actually, you know, just go for 6. It's just very funny, indeed. Speaking of weird, and actually, I think speaking of bonkers stuff, I actually found this as well on Blu-ray. I'm surprised this was on the shelf. I was really quite surprised. Cannibal Holocaust, believe it or not, I've actually got this now, this film, funny enough. I saw it again, same one I got from Beyond. Yes, it's got an alternative cover as well, I think, as well. Can't really see on this thing, but yeah, can't really tell on the packaging, but it's got alternative cover, unless if you want to see a cannibal tribesman eat a piece of flesh. Really, so that's one thing. Brain Dead is basically like a live action cartoon girl. Absolutely. It's like a cartoonish version of Evil Dead, I think, He's very, you look at Lionel, the character, he's very much like Ash, he's a bit like Ash Williams in a way, but a bit more goofy and a bit more, I don't know, a bit more stupid, I think, Again, that's probably where Brain Dead comes from, because he's a bit of a sore loser, trying to save the girl. It's like, probably the same time as How Many Darkness came out, really. So it's probably pushing for more of that, really. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I always just look at him and think, he's definitely like Ash Williams, like towards the end, very much. Evil Dead was already cartoony, absolutely. Yeah, from Evil Dead 2 on, from Evil Dead 2 onwards, and Ash versus Evil Dead. So there's that sort of like gory but cartoonish element to it. Apart from the first one, really. But that sort of gives it sense enough, really. Again, speaking of Evil Dead, of course, speaking of banned movies, yeah. So I think I remember this once actually. Once they put on, no, I think it was on YouTube. Sorry, actually, many odd years ago. I just sort of watched it, and actually didn't watch the stuff with the animal stuff on. When they sort of carve the bloody sea turtle or something. Actually kill it or rip it out of its shell or whatever. I didn't bother watching that really. So I was like, well, no, really. I've seen everything else. I wasn't the biggest fan of Army of Darkness. I think he was trying too hard to be funny. That's true, because I remember watching the director's cut on a night shift a bit when I was working. I remember watching it itself. I mean, I think I prefer the other version of it, really. I mean, the director's cut, I don't know. I think, the ending, really. It's middle to the ending when he wakes up how many odd years, like 1,000 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, and he realizes the whole world's just, basically everything is just like, in a big pile, in like an apocalyptic pile, with, with Big Ben and bloody Eiffel Tower and everything else like sticking out of a bloody mountain or something. Didn't really care for that one. I prefer the ending, really, with him trying to shoot at in the bloody, what do you call that, supermarket he works at. And still works at in the series, really. Yeah, I prefer that. I mean, I prefer the original 81 film. The Evil Dead. That's my preferred film. Evil Dead 2, it's good. I do think it's good as well. And Army of Darkness, I think, is good. But I prefer the original first film. I do. I think because I've got more history of it, I do. Because I think I talked about this when I talked about Evil Dead. It was when we had a license with it. You sell DVDs. Now on the top of the shelf, you have multiple copies of this film, this Evil Dead. And you see the image of Sarah Berry or whatever, coming out, his name actually, again, have a fist out and getting strangled, like with a hand coming out of a grave. That is something. And actually, look at the back of the cover. You see like, Bruce Campbell glued up chains, like with with her behind, and you see all these creepy, like decayed fingers, long fingernails and stuff like that. You think that's probably quite creepy, I have to admit, and I probably think it feels like a modern film, really, but no, I was proven wrong actually when I first actually saw it. I didn't get it until when the Sun released it as a promotional DVD. Do you remember when newspapers bring out free DVDs every weekend? Well, actually, they would do it now and again, actually, like for the week, but on the weekends you always get like a free DVD or CD. You do, of all sorts of films at the time, and God, that was something really. It's like, actually a little Saturday treat or weekend treat that was. Depends what it was, depends what it was. Either be a carry-on film, it could be horror classic in terms of like Evil Dead. Actually, that'll be for the week, actually. Or something like David Cronenberg's Scanners, or what else? Halloween, the original 78 movie. That is something. But I remember again, you got all sorts you did, really. The director of Cannibal Holocaust was arrested because he thought he killed his actors. And this, because he had to bring the actors out. He did, yeah. Because I remember he signed a contract with him, said just hide for a year and play up it or something like that. Just disappear for a year. And obviously, the authorities got hold wind of this, of course, and actually think, he's actually killed his actors, hasn't he? Yeah, so like we have to go and search to arrest him, really. And obviously they just turned up, it's like, oh, this is some stupid fucking ploy, is it? And actually I think the Dimensions signed a contract that did, really. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I know about it really. Indeed. People always get confused with this and Campbell Ferox. Is it Ferox? Xerox? No, it's Verox, isn't it? That's the other one. I always get confused with them two sometimes. Really, it's like, oh, is that one? No, it's not that one. It's Holocaust, isn't it? The soundtrack's rubbish. I have to tell you that. It's very. It's like, it's quite just repetitive and rubbish. It is. I have to admit, the soundtrack. I think everything else, judging by what has been mentioned about this film, I think the Blu-ray has the animal cruelty removed. Not really. I don't think so. Well, actually, it says on the back here, as evidence complies, contains, strong sex, sexual violence, bloody violence, and animal slaughter. So it could be that, unless it's, them cutting off, like, destroying the, back in the trench on the shoulder, or doing other stuff really. Then the CTEL stuff might be removed. I don't know. Who knows? Well, actually, on here, it says it's got two versions of it. It's got the original version, and it's got the first, and it's got the director's re-edit as well on this thing. So it's got two versions of this film here, really. I never really noticed much about this company, very much Shameless. Screen Entertainment, really. I do know there's another film that I was very interested in getting, which was The 10th Victim, which seems like a weird thing, really. I think that's like to do with it's in the future and everyone's like, they're trying to get 10 people and win something like that. It's a bit like Running Man, but like before Running Man was a thing. I haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust, honestly. The cannibal cruelty and the actions of the team put me off. That's true, because there's all sorts of weird stuff, really. I think one comes to mind. I think of it. It's like when, well, I'll say in scene. They go to this hut actually, and they burn this fucking hut. They do, but they got people inside. Now, what I read about that is like there was no fire safety or whatever. So those extras who played the cannibals or something like, or the actual cannibals themselves, would have been burnt. They would have been horribly burnt. They're basically nothing of that at all, really. There was no safety, anything of that, really. So the director, obviously, all the people involved who were filming that on location, whatever, could have probably killed those people or burnt them, really. So that's probably something like that. Be like, again, the whole behind the scenes stuff. I could probably just like, probably why is the main reason why they banned the film, really. The whole thing, animal cruelty, the whole behind the scenes stuff involving, him just trying to hide, tell them to hide for a year and say that they're dead. And also the whole thing about, nearly killing extras by burning them alive. It's like, that is very just, that's quite like the whole thing, really. Why it was banned for many years, really. It could be. I think that's my main theory, really. It could be many things, unless. Now, Matt Cameron had mentioned this actually. On like one of his Radio 5 shows with Sam Mayo one time. I don't know if it was like last week or something like that. I don't know. But he mentioned, anything with cannibal and chainsawing was banned immediately or something like that. And involving cannibals or chainsaw in the title, it would have been banned or something relegated to that. Really, it's like if. Or maybe, don't know, but you mentioned them two terms would actually make BBC would instantly ban at that point, which probably would be the same thing, really. So like stuff like this, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers or something like that. I don't know. Cannibal Ferox, Driller maybe. Cannibal Holocaust has had. Again the live thing, of course. On here, Cannibal Holocaust also had the Lost Piranha Pit scene. Lost Piranha Pits. I've never really seen that, really. So unless it's relegated onto here, I don't know, the original version or the re-edit, it could be on there. I don't know. Who knows? So we know. So I don't know. We could probably talk about that all day, really. Well, speaking of which, actually, so yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was banned because they didn't like the word chainsaw. That's true. Yeah. Nothing. Anything with chainsaw on the title, they probably just like, no, bad man. No one's going to pull in shops or whatever. It'd be certificate to 18 or anything like that. But no, we're not going to do it. Same with cannibals. This is also one I found as well in the Blu-ray section as well in HMV. I found that Arrow released it. That's Crash. David Cronenberg's Crash from 1996. I think it was released here in early '97. I think, and yeah, I was quite surprised to see this actually. It's like, again, a film you never see in the stores really, unless you are devoted to Blu-ray or something like that, or get the Blu-ray. Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers was renamed Hollywood Hookers, which to me is a far ruder title. That's true. Hollywood Hookers, that could be like a comedy or something like that, or maybe a documentary. It could be like a rude version of Street Smart or something. Who knows? But I do. So let's might as well look at this thing as well. So Crash, Cronenberg's '96 film, based on a book by J.G. Ballard. It's got a lot of bonus content as well, which is pretty interesting. Indeed. So you basically got the 4K restoration of the uncut NC-17 versions to the uncut version, supervised, of course, and approved by Cronenberg himself, really. So yeah, interesting. Some Q&As, interview stuff. You've got a nice a Q&A from '96 with him, Cronenberg, and Ballard himself together. You've also got video essays, behind the scenes stuff, 2 short films as well, done by other things. I think they're based on this old material as well, but done by different people. You've got the original Crash from 1971, only a short film it is, on the short film part of the BBC review series, again starring the author J.G. Ballard and loosely adapted from his novel The Atrocity Expedition. You've got 2 short films, again inspired by Ballard, which is Crash, Nightmare Angel by Zoe Beloff from 1986. The piranha scene was filmed, but they couldn't train the piranhas, so it was left on the cutting room floor. The footage is lost with only a few production stills. Oh, okay, so a bit of lost media there. Like, it'd probably be mentioned in that documentary anyway, really. But yeah, that'll be something. But they'll probably mention it. It's like, I bet they filmed it, or maybe, well, not actually no, unless it's they'll probably say, yeah, we sort of attempted to film it, but nothing was working. So unless there might be a little bit of snippet of 16 8mm footage itself, really. As this is the lost footage, the lost live stream. This is rediscovered. The only Cronenberg film I've ever seen is Videodrome, which is great. I haven't seen Videodrome yet. I've seen Robocop is. I got Rabid, which I've seen. That's okay, really. I don't mind Rabid. Fly, I've seen, of course. I've seen the Essex film Fly. Scanners, which I haven't. I've on DVD, so I've seen Scanners as well. So there's a couple of films I have really on DVD. I'm not sure if I do on Shivers. Do I have Shivers? No, I don't actually. No, I was really trying to think, like, do I have on a those bloody 2 discs and like different sides. One side's one film, one side's the other, which they used to sell it in bloody like pound shops and hitchings where I used to get some of that stuff from. And like. Again, like pound stretches, and also the Works as well. They sell stuff like that. Box sets, you get 20 film. You get like, bloody hell! I'm trying to think actually. Like 20 films on, like on 10 discs, which are in 5 DVD cases. Creature feature stuff. Stuff that you can probably get from the 80s and late 80s, early 90s, maybe early 2000s. Which I used to remember, stuff like wonderful classics like, Halloween 4 and Hellraiser 3, Killjoy, Spiders 1 and 2, Octopus, and all sorts, It's all cheap films. It's all like cheap, low budget films, and also some films that are unnecessary sequels. Not really Hellraiser 3, that's alright actually. I used to get some, stuff like that really. Nowadays, but going back to Cronenberg, so I picked this up actually. I just thought, them cheap Prism Leisure discs, yeah. I still got them, I do. There was some good stuff there is. I mean, I've seen one. I remember I got a box set full of them because you remember they come with like a free DVD player. You used to get. My dad got one actually. It's like well, it's cheap. I might as well get one. You get free DVDs with it, so it's like bang for your buck really. But they did really sort of good stuff. They actually really sort of weird stuff they did. And some releases, I pointed this out by someone else, maybe last year, a couple of years ago. But they did release too much of them, but they put them like in weird releases, like they weren't. You can probably see a film that's probably for children, but you plonk some other ones that are probably for adults as well. Like I'll show you what I mean if I can find them. Let's have a look. I mean, there's quite a few. Let me have a look. Some of these they actually released some good ones. They did actually. At the time, Donnie Darko was released on that one. Taxi 2. I think I've never seen Taxi 2 when my dad watched it. I thought it was pretty good actually. Even though it was a French film, yes, but it was subtitles on. But it was actually I did a so got it and just got a good kick out of it really. Tommy as well. Is that the Tommy the movie? Some Blue Manhattan. They actually do release again some pretty decent titles they did. Blue Velvet, Hard Boiled. John Woo's Hard Boiled was another one. I was amongst a lot. Dev Sport, Robocop Prime Directives, which was my introduction to Robocop actually. That mini series from 2001. Basically, the last time Robocop was his true self really. In his the last proper live action Robocop, because you had the movie trilogy from 87 to 93. Then you had the TV series from 94, which is shite. And you had this one, which is, I mean, to be fair, it's better than the Richard Eden TV series from the 90s because it's got a bit more violence to it, and Paint Fletcher, I could say it's a bit short, really, but I thought, this is pretty good. So that's my really introduction to Robocop, really, that mini series that my dad got. I was looking for ones, like you used to get a pack of 4s on them. Cybertracker. I'm really trying to find what's the other ones. God, Howling 4. I've actually got the Corridor. Tales of the Dark Side. That's on there. That's the one with was it with Debbie Harry as a witch and keeps a child in the cage? I don't know. I think so. Well, says Robocop was ruined when they aimed it to the younger audience. They did actually. That's the problem. Robocop 3 did really suffer from that actually. And when you look at the TV show from 94, they really toned it down. I mean, no one gets shot. I've noticed that. When I watched it, I thought like, oh, this is just bollocks. This is, he's just shooting them out the hands. Or he's basically like shooting a piece of furniture so he can drop on them. Really, that advert with Robocop punching the fridge will never not be funny. Punching the fridge. I never seen that, so I don't know. I know that Roddy Piper's in that bloody series as well. Oh god, and Jesus Christ, I've only seen one episode on it once when the Sci-Fi Channel put it on. Once I saw it briefly, I thought, this ain't doing that now really. So I just didn't bother really until when Oliver Harper showed it, and actually showed its true colours. It's like Jesus Christ, no wonder I saw Backed Away from how many odd years ago. Really, even though I've got the films and Prime Directives, I do, which are probably okay. I love the first one. The 87 film is stone cold classic. I do like Robocop 2 as well, actually. Them two sort of go hand in hand. It's an underrated sequel. Yeah, no, it's probably not the best. Even though Frank Miller and Irvin Kershner were involved with it, and Leonard Roseman, Tom Noonan as well. That sort of thing. It went into like a little bit of a sort of different direction in a way because there was some stuff. I mean, one thing that sort of bugged me was like how he was blue. Robocop was blue in number 2. That was a bit of a weird thing because I was looking, I think, silver. That's how it looks. Him shining like it's like when bloody hoodlums and joyriders customize the car. You get that sort of like rainbow reflective metal on them, that sort of thing really on it. And I felt like it was like that really. It's like, is he just been a bit too flashy, or is it just how it was made, or how it's painted, or how it's lit or something? I don't know. How it comes on camera, I'm not too sure really, but that's what bugged me a bit. That did. But for the film, that number 2 was good. Robocop 3 I never really seen much really because I did it on video on VHS at the time really. I couldn't really watch Robocop 3 because at the time it was part of I had a rare cynical version of it on Cynical from 1996. I couldn't watch it because the fucking VCI I did was on it. I mean, at that time I was living in fear of it, so I couldn't really watch it. I probably watched it once, really, but I never watched it again. To be honest, I have it on DVD now actually, so part of that collection with the director's cut and everything else. I was trying to find this Prism Leisure stuff. I mean, because it's always a pain. When you look at it, I'm gonna have to look on eBay for that sort of stuff. Let me just, always interesting. I think right. So my phone's updated. It's just problem is the whole side thing bombs on the bottom now. Underneath where you have to press everything else, and it's a bit. I'm still getting used to it because it's bloody up. It's like iOS 15.1 or something now. I don't know. Really, but I'll have to. I'm just looking now because I did showcase this on a Facebook page, which I'm no longer part of now, which of course was the because what Prism Leisure used to do, they used to bloody again put all different random films on. They did. I'm really just trying to find out where it is. God. Well, that's interesting. Let's have a look at that one. Action movie collection. There's probably some good stuff on there. What we got? So, I mean, that's pretty decent. There's got a good selection on there, really. So, it keeps you interested because you've got Chopper, Eric Bana. You've got Taxi 1 and 2. You've got Time Cop on there with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Lawnmower Man is on there. You've also got let me look. Probably some other stuff, some random stuff as well. So there we go. Taxi 2, you've got Chopper, Eye of the Beholder, Time Cop, Tornado, Lawnmower Man, Grand Theft Auto, which was it Ron? Oh, what's his bloody name now? Ron Howard. That's it. I keep thinking of Ron Jones, but that's a bloody TV director. That is, or someone else. Ron Howard. I think he was involved or directed it. I don't know. More of it. Let's have a look. Oh, let me have a look. On that VHS Robocop 3, the VCR logo was the best part. I don't know if it was on there. I think it might have been on. It might have been on there. I'm not too sure really because well, I've only seen it once and I binned it. Because when I was getting rid of my action movie collection, probably. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I can probably search now. I do like to look at. I look at bloody cinema club stuff, and it's like I mean, it was part VCS time. They were releasing stuff released by Company and TriStar. Yes, but I might have a look now. I am just because it's bugged me because like it's been released quite a few times. Released on its own through Columbia, but I just picked up the Cinema Club version from a card sold many odd years ago, a long time ago, which I thought was freaking weird. It's like, oh, no, can I at least enjoy an action film with that thing bothering me? I mean, at this point now, I'm totally cool with it, but it really just like, it's one of those things, like if you're scared of tarantulas or scared of snakes and you permanently, like, it really permanently scares you, that's how it felt with me. I just don't know, it's really scared the living shit out of me, all those years ago. Frightening. Not anymore. But let me have a look. Because I'm pretty sure they actually uploaded it at some point. The retail tape. I mean, there's one here. To Last Action Hero. I think that was released at the same time, actually. Which I don't think they actually ever did, really. Yeah. I think it's only like, yeah, only the Cinema Club stuff, just like the Cinema Club promo on it, really. So I don't know. I just don't know really on that one. Maybe. Let me look again. It just happened to be on there. I don't think so. No, I don't think it's on there, really. I just don't know, really. I'll leave it there, really. So, we'll leave that there. To be fair, some club did release some weird shit that did, after a bit. Because I lost the picture now actually because of what it was when I was doing about Prism Leisure. It had time cop on it, I think, but it also had like Transformers the movie on it. That's the thing. I believe Cinema Club put some pre-shite DVDs. Yeah, I have the MGM Blu-ray on in the trilogy. Oh dear, I think I've got the original. What do I have? I think I know which one I have actually, which is. Christ, where's it gone? It's always a thing with Christ almighty. Let me show you. There's always a problem. Ah, here it is. So that's the version I've got. I think I picked that up cheap. I did from CX many years ago. I did. So that's what I've got. That's the version. That's the version I've got. So that's basically got two. Basically, three films. No, four films now actually, because you got the original version. Bob Maniac would buy Robocop free on its own. I don't know, a completionist more like. So it's like I've seen Robocop 2. I think that might have been the last one to pick up actually. Because I've got Prime Directives first, then it was Robocop 2 I watched, then it's the first one, then it's Robocop 3. Really, so those are the ones I've saw in order really. I thought Robocop 2 was actually pretty decent. Robocop first one I watched on my own actually. Just watched it in my bedroom and I thought, geez. And actually looking at all this sort of stuff, it's like my god, with the whole, how gruesome it is in terms of special effects. Pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, I still remember. It's still pretty good. I love everything else about it. Really, it's one of my favorites. Really, it's not like. Imagine I did see. I saw it first time I watched Terminator on VHS when it was released on Virgin Video at the time. When I got that bundle of just tapes really of Terminator 1, 2, and also stuff like Press 2, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Heartbreak Ridge, and that sort of stuff. I've watched Robocop. I've seen that, and that uses stuff from the Terminator really. To be fair, it was actually pretty effective really. It keeps you just like, it's Robocop. I see now. It's like and actually that looks pretty exciting. When I first looked at the program, it's like, hey, that's a pretty good film. Christ, that seems quite old, really. For like it's just like when I look at Prime Director, for like that's pretty. It seems like a pretty interesting idea. And actually looking back, seeing the trailer for the first trailer for the 87 film, it's like, yeah, that actually does look pretty good. Actually, it probably looks 10 times better than Prime Directors, which it certainly does, really. Even though there was some stuff like questionable stuff, in terms of that small TV show. I don't think actually Valverde have done that. Jackson Casey had talked about it really. Indeed, he's very more. I don't know. Peter just seems like doing like a Judge Dredd impression when he does that. Sort of like that, really. Very sort of Dredd-esque look to him, really, compared to what Peter Weller and Robert Burke have done in the films, and to some extent Richard Eden as well, really. He's got a sort of like lean sort of look to him, really, and it's just one of those things, really, how it is. I think how he's portrayed it, really. I don't think it's like in terms of direction thing or how he wanted to approach it. I think he didn't know much about Robocop when he first came on, really. So, who really knows about that, really? But there you go. Yes. What have I been doing actually? What else is new? Season 22 is coming out. That is something that's quite interesting. I do have half of season 22 in here somewhere actually. I've only got, in terms of that one, Attack of the Cybermen, Mark of the Rani, and Time Lash. Adventures of Barrows, I've got the original first edition of the DVD, the original DVD of it. That'll come out, which is just that picture. Like when they do like one picture when it came out about like 2001, this sort of released it. I do have that version along with Spare from Space, and what else? Actually, I think I got the DVD version of the Robots of Death, but it's in the Revisitions cover. I think because they have two versions up, I just picked up the newer version, the 2013 or whatever version that come out. It's been like 4 years and I still have no interest in getting Blu-ray sets. Well, I've started collecting them all now actually, because I've got a Blu-ray player at home. My parents do. I've recently got season 26, the standard edition. I did because I didn't get to it at the time really. Basically, the only ones I haven't got now is season 8, season 17, and obviously probably season 22 when it comes out, because that'll become like hotcakes really. So I'm waiting for season 8 to come out and season 17, and just see where it goes from there really. You know, because I'm sort of nearly up to date with all of them really. You know, like thank God they actually released them on standard edition, so you can actually buy them again. And there's still some HMV they do, so it's like really good. You know, I think I'm one of that like see. You know, it's like well, I'm going now. I've got a Blu-ray player now. I can probably just buy stuff like the new special features on it. That's probably what I'm more interested in actually. You know, stuff like the writers' rooms. You know, the whole behind the sofa stuff, and some of the like the cast and crew revisit locations that they've done really. Like on season 26, they sort of revisit stuff from Curse of Family they do. Bold Snowman animation's coming out soon. Apparently, it's going to be the last one for a while. There's negotiations with Boost America 4 and through. Yeah, I've heard about that. I know. I don't know actually. They could probably, you know, renegotiate. They could probably do like maybe a different company could do it. BritBox maybe take over. I don't know really. You know, because they actually they've probably done well. But the thing is, BBC America they probably get them maybe a bit later than us and us Brits do, because we recently get it first we do. But also they show them on television as well, which I'm sort of thinking like, should they have done that with, you know, yeah, let's how a Neil deal goes, because we do. Yeah, hold on, I'm losing. It's the whole thing. Chat sort of comes up a bit and it fades away. Let's hope that if a new deal comes, they thought they won't do away with fair animation. No, I think they've done that really. I don't think they'll probably go there again. You know, I mean, I never bought the Lofi. Thank Christ, I never did actually, because I'm happy with the 2014 DVD. You know, when it came out actually. I mean, it's just one episode that has telesnap reconstructions. That's fine. I can deal with that really. You know, it's not like Underworld Menace really, because you know half of it is telesnap. That's just a shit job that is really. You know, they could have animated it. You know, them 2 episodes like. You know, I just want to see, you know, I think what I want to see, you know, what the next one be. I just want to see like, you know, what they did with, you know, the invasion and the Reign of Terror and the Ice Wars and 10th Planet. You know, do the ones that have 1 2 episodes that are missing, just animate them and keep the ones, you know. I've only got the special edition. Yeah, I've only got the special edition. Hold on, the whole thing. Chat here. It's a problem. Yeah, I've only got the special edition for the extras. That's true. That's true, really. I mean, because when they came out actually, because it was like a quick thing. Really, they sort of semi-restored them. You know, recovered them, restored them a bit, and also just put them on DVD at that time of the 50th anniversary, which seemed like a big thing. It's like oh good, we finally got like some complete child stories which we thought were lost forever, really, and they found them in Nigeria. There was something else that was brought up as well recently about involving stuff to do with the Middle East. Apparently, they said that they found about how many? 17 film canisters, something like that, or film reels or whatever, or it's like film canisters really. And they're thinking, always some more lost episodes of Doctor Who really. It's like okay, We'll have to see what happens. I think 17. And there could probably people. I don't know what it could be actually. You know, it could be just like some random shows really. You know, they probably imported or maybe some of their own shows really. That it's all been lost of time really. Who knows? Apparently that's been going on in the Middle East really. Supposedly, so I think about 17 really. But who knows? If it is sort of Doctor Who, what would it be? Who knows? Some people probably like jokingly saying it's the Space Pirates. Who knows? It probably could be. I don't know. Some people say it's Marco Polo, which I think I read somewhere. Something was mentioned maybe a week ago or something like 2 weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago, I think. Yeah, I think so. That Marco Polo was more well received and it had been shipped around most of the world worldwide actually. I think, you know, because of I think how it is, how it's presentable. I don't know really, but it's like you know that was more distributed more around or transmitted around most around the world really, or maybe did various copies. You know, who knows? It could be Marco Polo. We don't know, or it could just be like orphan episode of The Wheel in Space. It could be The Crusade. We don't know. It could be Celestial Toymaker. Who knows? I mean, going to animations, I really just want to see, the ones that have orphan episodes that should be done first. Then do full animated ones, really. Go back to what they did beforehand. Before Power of the Daleks, pre-Power of the Daleks. I would have think that was, just like an easy choice, like a cost choice, really. Just do the Crusade, do Underworld Menace, do Celestial Toymaker, do The Wheel in Space, do what else is missing episodes? Maybe not Daleks Master Plan. I don't know. I don't know really. Space Pirates. I don't know really. Maybe, who knows? Just do the ones that have like orphan episodes. The one just episodes that are missing, partly missing. Well, half the serial's missing, and just release on there really. Animate episodes 1 and 3, or 2 and 4, whatever. And just release on DVD. Put a few special features on. Fair enough. That seems all right, really. If it depends on the actors very much, who knows? Because I mentioned this at this point. I think someone mentioned this at some point really. When the Clash sets still continue, obviously some of the cast probably won't be around as much longer. You never know really. So because I think in terms of black and white, in terms of 60s Doctor Who, the one that'd probably be released first, I probably think it will be season 2, because only 2 episodes of the Crusade are missing. Everything else is all there. From Planet of Giants till Time Meddler, only the Crusade is missing 2 episodes, and that's it. And that's your complete season. First half season you can put on Blu-ray. Because I think with Troughton, I think in terms of his 2 full series, season 5 and season 6, you've only The Wheel in Space and Space Pirates really, but they seem to be, dodging them a little bit really. I don't know, but so they're the only ones that sort of need to be completed to be, released on Blu-ray really at the time. Season 4 is probably a bit of a tricky choice in some ways, because you still got the Smugglers and the Highlanders to do as well fully. All 4 episodes, they no longer exist really, and Underwater Menace as well, just to redo them. So you basically like 3 serials to really sort of redo for series 4. Season 3, it's quite a lot actually. And then you've got Galaxy 4 first. Then you could probably slap on the Mission to Unknown recreation that university did, because that seems fair enough. It's just like a one thing really. I know. And you've also got Daleks Master Plan, The Massacre, Savages on there. They still need to. There's still quite a bit of series 3 missing on there. Season 2, Crusade. Season 1, you just need Marco Polo really on that one, and boom, fair enough. It just depends when they're going to do them though. When's the next one going to happen really? Obviously, season 22 is coming out. Some people might say maybe something like season 20 might come out. Who knows? Probably might do. I don't know. I think season 20 might be the obvious one to do really. Or it could be another Tom one. I don't know. It could be season 25. We don't know. obviously, we've got Collins on the way now, pretty much apart from season 21 with Twin Dilemma. So I don't know how they're going to do that with season 4 and season 21. They probably have to do split screen, wouldn't they? They have to like split, Arnold Troughton and Dawson to Baker. Seem like the obvious way to do it, really. I don't know. Lean Barney can come up with some amazing stuff. He can. Who knows? And I think in terms of like stuff like maybe with Paul McGann stuff, I don't know. Would they actually animate his Big Finish stories like what he did earlier on in the main range, which with India Fisher, or would they just do? I don't know. It would have been something. I love to see some interesting stuff what they would do with it. They do the TV movie, but what will be added next to it as well? Will they do the first series? Like from Storm 1 and 2, Meteors in Hell, and continue on from there? That'd be pretty interesting. Or they can probably rewrite the history, maybe do stuff. Maybe I don't know the adaptation of the Dying Days. I don't know a version of that on Vampire Science, or bring some well-known Eighth Doctor stuff like from the comics and the novels. Just do them as a series, rework it with a one companion, or just make their own on the fly. Like maybe do an animated version of a TV series of like maybe like the Fox TV series, but never happened. Who knows? Probably maybe do like I don't know how much, maybe like a 20 episode, 22 episode long series, American style series, like in the vein of the TV movie, or X-Files, whatever. Being like that, be like any typical Fox TV show. Who knows? That can open a different can of worms. That can, they can probably go down the order with Big Finish, or maybe do some weird adaptations, like a mixture of adaptations from comics and novels, or rewrite and do their own spin on the Fox on like what Fox might have done if the TV movie was successful and would have greenlit an American TV series. We don't know that many things. Also, I've been looking into the Shouker Doctor stuff as well, because I'm interested in a book called The Black Archive focusing on Shouker Doctor stuff, because it does feature some other stories that have never been considered. Like, after Scream and Shouker, there's been some other stories that have been commissioned or been used as potential follow-ups. Because there's things about 4 that have been floating around actually, and have been used elsewhere. They have actually. Well, not much really. So you got Scream and Shouker. Then you got sort of like Feast of the Stone, which is a story involving psychic vampires or whatever. That was a short story. That Candace Mark Wright did for the BBC website. It's just like a short story thing. Like you have an image of Richard Grant's Doctor. And it's just like a short story. I think it is. But the next one, of course, there was another one done by Simon Clarke, a horror novelist, called Blood of the Robots, and it's in that book of the Black Archive, which you can probably get on eBay or something like that. It does go into a bit of a detail about that story, really. He mentions Feast of the Stone, of course, but he mentions this one called Blood of the Robots, which was meant to be like another tale for Grant's Doctor. There was another one that was done by Paul Cornell, who did Shouker, called The Mask of Mascara, and that became a Doctor annual story with the Ninth Doctor. Random question, but I'm the only one who found the cliffhanger of Pyramids of Mars hilarious. The cliffhanger. Let's have a look. Episode 1, that is cliffhanger. What's that cliffhanger? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen Pyramids of Mars. I really forgot about that. I mean, because it's regarded as one of the best stories. I don't tend to look at the best stories as much, really. It's like, I've seen Genesis many times, of course, but it's like, I just don't know. I've probably seen Pyramids once, really. But I know it's like regarded as one of the best. It's like, is it? Probably. I don't know. I might have a look actually, because I could probably look at the reference going to Pyramids of Mars. I'll try and have a look at what the cliffhanger is. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen that story. Really, even though it's regarded as an all-time classic. Oh, I see. It's like have a look. I bring Sutek's gift of death to all humans. Naaman screams and falls dying. So Alex, like, he gives you like the gift of Sutek, and he just basically just flats out passes out. Okay. I've never never really seen that. I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell to me. That cliffhanger doesn't ring a bell really. I know. I just don't know really. I probably need to rewatch at some point really. You know, or maybe when season 13 comes on Blu-ray. I don't know. I do know that I always remember the cliffhanger for part 3. Obviously, when he gets tortured, gets zapped with that green light with Sutek, obviously, and also the end when the mansion burns down, of course. Yeah, I just don't know really. Who knows? So I just don't know really, because it's been a long time since I checked that out really. I mean, the last proper one I saw in terms of classic was Galaxy 4 really. I need to watch some more actually, because I do have a few others. I did watch part 9 of Eden. I think the DVD just got come out really at that point. I'd rather watch some Colin stuff. I don't know. Probably need to at some point. You know, or watch the Faces ones. I haven't seen that yet actually. So maybe, or the Ark. I don't know. But I've also got the DVD box of like stuff from 2005 to 2008 as well, which I've seen stuff on BBC iPlayer, I think about last year actually. So like series 1, and I think stuff in series 4 as well actually. So like, you know, which I think was pretty alright, pretty decent actually. But I never really. So I saw revisited some of the Eccleston Return stuff, which I thought was pretty good stuff. I haven't touched most of the Moffat stuff, like from Smith and Capaldi's time, really, because I don't think. I mean, Smith, Matt Smith. I don't know when last time I actually watched this stuff. Probably when he did 2013, probably. Did I? Maybe. Must have. Who knows? I just don't know really. I'm not a big fan of Matt Smith's theory. Series 5 was good. I've obviously Series 5 was probably his best. I think that's last time Doctor Who was good for a bit, and then it sunk down to a low. It did really, you know. And I think because it's aimed, you know, it's aimed for American audiences, it really just dwindled it down. I made it a bit more complicated and a bit stupid in some places, and I just don't know. I think people have said this really, but I think it's not for, you know, it's not really as British as it once was really. I mean, it really felt like that. I mean, it not really does. I think Moffat's era is more aimed for the American audience really, and I really just like, same with Sherlock as well. I really just can't get through it all. Like, you know, I think from David's era, that's more to the British standard really. Apparently, oh, here we go. Apparently they're bringing David Tennant back. I think they're trying to go back to the show's the most popular period. God. No, I don't think so. I had a conversation with someone actually about this, I think earlier this year, and it said, you know, because around the World in 80 Days was showing on, like a repeat of it. Obviously, it's David Tennant in, really. And it's like, you know, and it's like, oh, and she was saying, oh, it's David Tennant actually, you know, it was good actually. And she mentioned, you used to watch Doctor Who with him. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I heard they're actually going to bring him back. Actually, it's like, you know, that'd be something. I heard rumors actually, but it's like, you know, that'd be good. You know, but I feel like nah, they should go with a woman actually. Go with a woman, really. But she said to me actually, yeah, and she said, you know, I don't think so actually, because I don't think, you know, casting a doctor as a woman is actually a good role model. Something like that. You know, saying this is someone who's like a 22-year-old person, girl actually, saying this. You know, that, you know, a female doctor is not a good role model. You know, and people probably look at, you know, again, David Tennant as a good role model really, as a sort of title hero pretty much. Like I think all the other ones really. I just don't know, unless it, you know, I don't know what the mindset is with some people really. You know, they probably just look at, you know, doctors like, you know, alpha male role model, very much like that. David Tennant was liked only because many people in many people's minds, of course, is very popular. You know, and in fact, when Tennant was leaving, they nearly cancelled it because they felt no one could replace him, of course. Even though they did give him a bit of a boost, really, and obviously that found success elsewhere, really. not really here. It didn't reach the heights of what it used to. It probably did in its first series, probably. It probably so did well because it's new Doctor and everything else. But when it changed, and the whole thing involved the complete Mara story arcs, the whole split season stuff. I mean, it lost me for a bit, and I sort of felt like, this is a bit rubbish. This is really, I felt, even though I still watched it, I still felt a bit. I felt like it's a bit of a downer in a way. I think with I do think I can't really watch stuff like that. Like the Matt Smith era and some of Capaldi stuff really. I think it depends what time you were really. For the 60th anniversary, they need to learn to black magic and resurrect William Hartnell, Trout and Pertwee. God, they probably do. Well, I don't know. They could probably recast them, but they could bring David Bradley back as the first Doctor with good writing. Not like Twice Upon a Time as Twat I call it. I can't stand that Christmas special. It's horrible. As much it's a bit of a stupid premise, of course. Even though because Chibnall didn't want to write a fucking Christmas special. He wanted to start his new freshman episode 1 on point. It's obviously behind the scenes stuff. It's understandable, but it's needless and stupid. It's horrible. It's just not worth it really. Even though David Bradley's good, he looks the part. It's just the material, the story's written. It's just like it's like sabotaging Hartnell's legacy in a way. It's like snapping a knife in his back. Really, it's like this is what you might expect the first Doctor to be, and people will be turned off by that. Wasn't really like that, because I've watched Galaxy 4, and again, he has that sort of comedy bit of edge to him as well in the later seasons. When Susan leaves, he sort of opens up a bit. When Vicky comes, and he sort of lightens up. He does really, and he's always sees character progress a bit really. Still much the same really, but he still progresses and becomes a little bit more softer in a way, then a bit more prickly in the first season. Well, it can't work since I think all 3 were cremated, probably. That's true, and dumped to the sea or wherever, or scattered on where else? I don't know. Longleat, I don't know, unless the ashes are still there. I don't know. That's a bit of a sick joke, really. Who knows? But they could do actually. I think they're probably bring David Bradley back as the first Doctor. Second Doctor, I don't know, unless they bring Ray Shearsmith back. Put him as Chout. I don't know. And they could bring Sean Pertwee as as the third Doctor, or maybe Mark Gatiss. I don't know. Oh God. If it was Snap promotion image of him and Jesus Christ, him and some fake wig on, really. I think I think what has been said is it could be a series of specials, of course. But I read some. I watched a little snippet of an interview. I think Farry's put it on. It's excellent a convention it is, and he mentioned what's your sort of think about like doing a multi-Doctor story, or return, like doing that sort of thing. And he said, he finds it a bit too gimmicky, a bit exploitational, but also a bit of a cash grab as well in his eyes, really. And he said, obviously, if you want him back, he has to be on his own. No Doctors else, really. It's a cheap way to look at progressive, treating the old show as so behind its times when it was ahead of its time already. That's true. I mean, people complain doing, I think when Doctor Who was off air in 2016 for a bit, when there's no season at all, or new stuff apart from Doctor Mysterio, they mentioned, it's probably, Doctor Who's so far behind the times and everything else. You look at Peaky Blinders, you look at, all these new, and all these new shows that keep popping up in and out, like imported stuff. You think, they're light years ahead away, and Doctor Who's just saddled at the back of the arse end, really. Like with shows, maybe like with soap operas, really. And that's all back end of it. There's no, it's all trimmed behind with half-baked ideas and everything else, and it just doesn't. That's why some people feel like really. Obviously, when Chim would come on, it really felt again. It was part in the same league as everything else. Really, it felt modern and fresh. Really, and I think it's going to same as well when Davies is going to bring something new to it. I mean, he's going to say it's all different show because that's the reason why he come back really. But even to say again, but not doing what he did in 2005, 2010, this is new. This is going to be brand new, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm giving credit for Chibnall. Made it more modern and made more. It stands on as modern television really, and did achieve that. Obviously, I don't want. I don't know if it's sort of done well. I don't know. I think people's look at Doctor Who now actually, because I think it tainted. It's all. I don't know. It's all been tainted really over years when with Moffat's tenure. If you want to be progressive, you actually be progressive and actually do something hold on. Progressive and actually something subtly? I think so. I don't know. Here's the thing. I always like to do something different with something really. You look at it thinking, I could probably do something different with that really, in terms of concepts and stuff. In terms of, you look at an episode of Doctor Who, you could probably just like do something a bit more wild, a bit more interesting really. And that's what I did with which I'm working on with Class of '89. You take this, you basically take the basic Doctor Who, you take the structure of it, but you fuck it, you fuck around with it and see what comes. You shake it around horrendously, and you basically like stop a few holes in, and boom, you've got something that's a bit more not like what it used to be, but a bit more out there really. It's like it's not what you expect really. Really subtle. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I thought like subtitling. I thought like add subtitles on something I don't know. Subtle, yeah. But I mean, if you want to take, I mean, I thought about if I actually became shorter, I would have done what I've done now. Basically, take the stories I've sort of written using Class of '89, '96 as a reasonable. This is what I'll probably tell a little bit later that one. Just take risks really, because some of the stories I've written on that one sort of deal with, it looks like Pastor does, but in a very different way, really. You take characters and some monsters, of course, and twist them around a bit, really. It's like it's some stuff I think in the first series, which I do use, I use some other stuff like I use the Orgons in the first story. I use the demons from the demons in the third episode, in the third story that I've written. Also, I think intentionally, if I did for Doctor, if I maybe got the chance, I can, the 8th generation of that story features the Wire, even though the version on Class of '89 doesn't. It all features a woman who's probably like half as an alien, but she's like floating squid underneath a skirt, a bit like I mentioned in the video, a bit like that alien from Men in Black 2 that Will Smith fights near the end in the headquarters. I forgot what it's called now. A bit of ridiculous monster. It looks like a very tall figure, like beard and stuff. Underneath, he's got like it's like a topless man with like a squid floating, hovering squid base on him, and he has like many little offspring as well. So very much like that really, but very more creepy. It's like an old lady as well, like a Mary Whitehouse type character. Freaky, yeah. But also, what's the one I did? Milk of Paradise, that's the one. But I redid that with Joe Grant as a drug addict who lives a life of prostitution and drug use, really. That's in Katie Mann and other stuff, post Green Death, post 1973. She's done some pretty interesting stuff, really, at that point in the mid to late 70s. And, I think there's a show called Target, which she appears in one episode. She does die from an overdose, actually. She does at the end. Quite shocking, really. But that's her living off drugs and very filthy. How she looks and how she acts like that. Jesus Christ, it's quite disturbing, but also sad as well. It is, and obviously watched Stream Devon recently as well. Playing Cliff Jones, and I think that sort of idea is like she married Cliff, but also they got separated. They did at some point, but they're probably reconnected really. But in that sort of interim period, she's probably lived in America, in Los Angeles, and just give herself up to sex really, instead of give a drug habit really. That is just, it's horrible really. But it's like there's some other bits and pieces as well that sort of come from it, like the whole thing of Reggie with this dealer coverage and what she knows. it's the same. It's like the same character Benny in Total Recall in the 1990 Verhoeven film. You know, he sort of looks like him, very sort of African American type fella, and releases his arm. He has like a wearing like a 3-finger tendril arm. He does 3-fingered arm. He does, as you see, like in the film, very much like that really. And the whole thing with the they're called the Vito. They're like a weird inaccurate inaccurate what do you call it arachnid species, that is, a bit like that really. They sort of build themselves, like they sort of start with like in a fort, like a host or something like that, and they sprout out like bloody tendrils and whatnot, and fangs and stuff, and multiple eyes. Horrific stuff really, but it's not like that cheap Spiders film, jeez, from 2000s, which I never saw, but I did watch a video when Chuck Dallin reviewed it for his last time when he did Fable on horror films in Fable days. And that's when some guy sort of in an office block actually starts, morph into a spider. Jesus Christ. Freaky. I mean, sort of interesting done on a cheap budget, but freaky. Indeed, sort of implied that. I sort of used that in that story, and make it big gritty as well. And actually, to think it originated as a Fourth Doctor Tom Baker story at the beginning, but instead of him, it was like something out like April Flowers' Driller Killer at the beginning, when he sort of stays in with two women, of course. Instead of this one, it's just Joe Grant really at this point, just living on her own, prostitution, drugs, that sort of thing really. Who knows? But that's how it works, and that's the proper finalized version of the Milk of Paradise, which I'm proud of actually, along with other stuff really. I've also done stuff for series 2 as well, which I need to finish up at first really. Stuff to do with bonus students and some like a Seeds of Doom type story, based on the Seeds of Doom type story, The Daleks Return, which I mentioned, Project Barrier, the only dark story I've written. That's on there. And one story that I saw recently come about, actually because of family history actually, from my family, involving the Norwegian the Scottish the Scottish Norwegian Wars in the 1260s or whatever, I think it is, on the Battle of the Hebrides, something like that, something like that really. The Norwegians raped and pillaging Scottish, and also as a sequel to The Awakening as well, involving the Howcullins, I think. Yeah, the Howcullins, if you pronounce them. The aliens that keep sending war machines down into Earth, like the Malice or the Jerick in the Hollow Men. Very much. Ice and Iron, Jeff Goldblum's the villain, of course, in that one. He's like a paleocobologist, he is, but he's just turned rogue, he has. He wants to be leadership and, fuck all the women he does in that story. And they basically live in New York City, but it's all frozen and live above it in tents and stuff, like they're surviving waiting for rescue, but no one's come for about 2 years or something. It's quite sad actually, but it's interesting. One of the feasters, you've got the androgons from 2 doctors in it. It's like they perform like stumble across a wedding, and they end up being sacrificed to marriage and a feast, or being eaten alive really by them. So that's pretty something. And Slaves of the Moon so far. So I've done like the first 6 stories so far on season 2. So there's 13 in total. And, there's 13 each series really. Slaves of the Moon involves a space station. Crew members are slowly being one by one being possessed by this nearby moon that's outside the space station, and nearby it's actually sentient, but it's using psychic powers to get to people, communicate through people, and making them commit suicide. Really, it's not like getting sucked up an airlock. It's not nice, really, but it's something. Apparently, this moon used to be like a life form, really, but it sort of got killed. I think it just got killed or something like that, and sort of became a really sentient moon for some reason, strangely. And just like starts killing humanity because he got killed. Everyone should be killed. I don't know. It's in his whole mind space really, and developed all these weird psychic powers and stuff. Indeed, I work at 7th. Well, the 7th story I don't know. I still need to work on that, and that is based on a script that is actually based on a Doctor Who script by some guy called Eddie Davis, who I knew from a Facebook group. I do, and he only written the first part of it. I'm not sure if it was a a 3 or 4 part story, but it's more in the vein of the Virginia Adventures, but it's also like a script, like it could be belonging like season 27 or something, or 28 or whatever. Who knows? But there we go. That's my sort of progression with that, really. But so far, it's gone alright, actually. Again, I need to be in the motivation to write some more, actually. But I've done the first 6 already. I need to do the remaining 7, and that's season 2 in the can. And I'll talk about that, really. So, yeah. I've really got enough else to say, really. And, indeed. Well, I think it's time to really finish this one off, actually. I have to do a couple of things, cook some dinner, and yeah, I'll probably might do this another time, actually. So, thanks for joining Divian Film Blog. Thank you, Ned. Thanks for popping in. Have a nice do some chat about different bits and pieces, of course. Just a little random chat, really. I just got nothing else to do, really, because I'm a bit bored, really. But it was fun. So there we go. And also, I've been messing with filters as well, as you can see, 8mm style, which is pretty good. As I showed Ben Freeman earlier on. Bit of fun. Goodbye, it's nice chatting. Cheers, mate. I'll see you whenever for the next live stream. It'll probably come on whenever, really. So, yeah, I'll see you whenever. Okay, and best of luck. See you all.